What's good, family? Chiefdryno is live. Thank you all for joining the stream. Whoever is waiting, sorry about the little wait. I am quickly going to share my stream, and tonight, we're going to talk about GOT, Game of Thrones. I never mentioned it, but I love Game of Thrones. It's by far my all-time favorite TV shows. It's really amazing. But before I get into this, I'm going to share this. Okay, I will share this quickly before we get carried away. Right, before we get carried away. Hang on. All right. We good? Excellent. Yep. Sound is good. I'm gonna share this quickly. Hi, Elm City. Thanks for joining the stream. How are you? I've been really busy, so yeah. How about yourself? What's happening? What's good, Am? What's good? Share the stream. Copy. Okay, so I'm going to share this with my WhatsApp group. Oh, geez. There was 1,500 messages that I needed to catch up on. But seriously, I will not be able to catch up on these messages. But yeah, I'm just going to say, what's good, family? As always, what's good, family? Chiefdryno is going live. What's my predictive text? Please join me if you may. All right, shared. So that's been shared. Right. Okay, so welcome to my channel. I am Chiefdryno, and thank you all for being on my channel. I'm grateful for 462 subscribers. I am climbing steadily, not very fast, but steadily. My channel is growing day by day, so it's pretty good. My watch time has gone up as well. An average of 12 views a day on on certain videos that I've made. I think that currently the most watched video on my channel is why African Americans should migrate to Australia. Consider migrating to Australia. So I should talk. Maybe I should talk a little bit about that video. It's not the best video that I ever made. I got interrupted, so it was abrupt. But I did say a few things that people can take away from. I've had a whole lot of people, commend me on that, and because of that video alone, it was about 10 minutes long. I had several subscribers. A lot of people who are, especially Black people who are interested in visiting Australia, have contacted me and spoken with me concerning Australia. And Australia seems to be very far away from everybody or the rest of the world. So not many people know about Australia, but there is a land called Australia in the what do I say? Australia itself it's a continent on its own. It's Australasia, right? And it's between the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean and the Southern Ocean. So it's not too far off from Antarctica. And yeah, there are a series of chain islands separating Australia from mainland Asia. So yes, simple geography there. But when we talk about Australia, what comes to mind for most people is kangaroos, right? The land of kangaroos and Aboriginal Australians. Okay, it goes deeper than that. All right. Contemporary Australia is a very very industrious nation, very modern country, a country that strives to embrace multiculturalism, a country that promotes peace. Australia is very peaceful. Um, Crime level is very low in Australia. Violent crime is very low in Australia. Most Australians have what's called a mateship spirit. Okay, where it's basically like um, sort of like a brotherhood or something. Naima back now. Thanks for joining the stream. I haven't seen you in a while, sister. How are you? You don't send me your emails anymore. Hope you're good. Right. So yeah, that's a little bit about Australia. You know, it, I know this title is about Game of Thrones, right? Uh, Australia just had we just had our federal election, and Australia is divided into several states, 5 states. Okay, and we each state has unique laws separate to other states in Australia, and they have their own governing government. But then it's a federal government. All these states come together, under one prime minister. Okay, who answers to the Queen of England. So Australia is not a sovereign nation. Australia is independent, but is still a British, not so much colony, but I would say the head of state of Australia is the Queen. Okay, Queen of England. So or the British Crown. Okay. So we just had our elections, and watching the Game of Thrones finale. Okay, towards the end of it. Okay, spoilers alert. Okay, whoever hasn't seen Game of Thrones episode 8, I mean season 8 episode 6. Okay, block your ears. Okay, go see it before. If you don't want to see it, well, that's up to you. But this is the most epic TV show ever. Okay, my most anticipated um, TV show that I look forward to at the start of the week to watch. And for the past almost 10 years, I've been watching Game of Thrones. Sometimes I go in and out, depending on my busy schedule. Okay, I forgo a few weeks without watching it, and I sit down and binge. Okay, I just binge on Game of Thrones. It's something that you have to, like, you cannot be watching Game of Thrones and be playing on your phone. Like, you just have to. It just captivates you, right? It captures your imagination, especially if you're someone. You don't have to be nerdy. Okay, if you're someone that loves to read, okay, who loves literature, you know, it just captures you. Okay, it just captures you that you're so entranced. Okay, watching Game of Thrones, and it's so beautiful. The first 4 seasons, okay, the literature was so superb. Okay, was amazing literature. I just loved the literature, and then the quotes, were just amazing and beautifully made. The dialogue was just so special. Okay, but it was a bit rushed. Okay, towards the end, I think from season 6, 7, 8, it was just so rushed, and I just don't know why. But I think as time goes on, okay, it got a bit too expensive, you know, running the show, because the scenes were filmed in several locations, and all these things cost money. Okay, and when we talk about the aging aspect of the characters as well. The characters were aging. Like when you look at Daenerys, from when you started 10 years ago, when they started Game of Thrones, she was like barely 15 years old. I don't know how old she is, but Emilia Clarke, her name is, but she looked really, really young. But now when you look at her, she's like, oh my God, she's like aged, right? And white people always, age very, very fast. And you look at Aya as well, like she was like a 12-year-old. She's not 12-year-old, but she looked like a 12-year-old at the time when in season 1 of Game of Thrones. And you look at her now in the last season, last episode, okay, with her hair tied back, okay, she looks so matured. It's just amazing. And then looking at myself like 10 years ago, how young I looked as well. Like I've just basically grown up with this TV series, okay, which is so powerful and so great. Okay, a lot of people are torn between their emotions, but are forgetting that, okay, this is a story, okay, written by somebody else. Okay, so you cannot control the narrative. Okay, it's somebody else's story. Okay, so my take from this is someone writes a story enough, well enough for you to believe it. Okay, and it's their story. They tell a story that you believe in. Okay, so why don't you write your own story, captivating enough for people to believe it? Okay, whether it's a lie, fiction, or not. Okay, if your story is good enough, okay, people are always going to buy into it. All right, it doesn't matter whether it's a bad story or not. Okay, and this is what Game of Thrones is all about. Okay, it's based on the history of humanity. Okay, and in essence, it's like the it's life lessons, you know, placed in a fantasy reality TV show. Okay. Everything is in Game of Thrones has happened before, apart from the dragons. Okay, apart from the dragons, but who knows? Okay, it might be dragons that lived on Earth millions of years ago. Considering dinosaurs, okay, dinosaurs, dinosaurs that weighed 20,000 tons. Okay, who knows? So it's the literature is very rich. The history is really, really rich. Uh, the storyline is really, really rich. It's just the execution towards the season finale. Okay, from episode 6 to 8. Okay, was a bit rushed, but again, it's because it was getting very, very expensive, and I can understand the characters are getting too old. Okay, the characters are getting really old. So yeah, I mean, it's really, really fantastic. Okay, GOT is really, really fantastic. Uh, it was very, very creative. Okay, and my most favorite quote from Game of Thrones. Okay, my most favorite quote from Game of Thrones was by um, Littlefinger. Okay, where is this? I have it here somewhere. Okay, so it says that should I share my screen? Maybe I should. Uh, maybe I should share my screen. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen, and I found this article that I wanted to share. Right. And I'll get to the Australian election. I'll talk more about the Australian election, okay, and politics. All right. But I just wanted to read this before we talk about that. All right. All right. So I present to everyone. Okay. All right. So excuse my excitement about Game of Thrones. Okay, I have invested almost 10 years of my life. Okay, watching Game of Thrones. All right, and absorbing everything. Okay, about Game of Thrones. I've actually read a book on Westeros. Okay, and I've read a few things, a few articles and storylines from you know different sites and stuff like that. And I've read stories about Essos on online. Okay, so Game of Thrones has like two known worlds. Okay, it's one world but two known continents. Okay, so uh, one continent to the west, which is like the known world. Okay, the known world or the western world. Again, when you look at um, the connotation or the representation here to modern world. Okay, uh, the story was written by staunch white males. Okay, okay, that represent their views. And again, I'm saying this because it's a story. Okay, people write their own story good enough or well enough for you to believe it. Okay, so if you are upset about the storyline, why don't you create your own? Why don't you create your own narrative? Okay, so um, yeah, so it's based on like two continents: the West, which is the known world, and then the East, which is called Essos, and it's basically like a crazy world. Okay, so like a non-civilized part of the storyline and all the crazy things happening there. Okay, and it basically reflects our reality today. Okay, in this 21st century world of ours. Okay, Game of Thrones represents it all. I mean, from every character trait of everybody here, it's all about power and the abuse of power. Okay. And it brings to mind this quote called uh, this quote called power. What was this? Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Okay. The whole theme about Game of Thrones is about that. What will you do when you have power? Okay, you fight for power. You ask people to help you to get power. And when you get power, what do you do with it? Okay, what do you do with power? So yeah, again, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So the favorite quote, which is really resounding in Game of Thrones, you come across um, this quote from Littlefinger, and you cannot mistake that voice, Littlefinger's voice. Okay, you cannot mistake that for any other voice. Um, what was this? So season 3, episode 6. What does Littlefinger mean by this line? Not non-book reader here. Please tell me what. So this is like Game of Thrones Reddit. Okay, Reddit conversation thingy. Non-book reader here, please tell me what he means when he says the realm. Do you know? So this Littlefinger repeatedly is quoted saying this. Okay, the realm. Do you know what the realm is? It's the thousand blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agree to tell each other over and over until we forget that it's a lie. Okay, we know very well, if you've watched this story before, you know very well that this happened. Okay, in history, the throne. Okay, the throne, the famous iconic throne, which you know toured around the world. It was brought here in Australia. It was sent to Sydney, I think Sydney Opera House, and there were like thousands of people that queued up just to sit on that throne. It wasn't even the real throne, it was the replica. Okay, thousands of people queued up like all day, like all night, just to sit on that throne. Ocean Grown 9, thanks for joining the stream. What did you think of the last episode? The last episode was beautiful. I mean, I think it was really, really beautiful. It's a bit rushed. I think it's rushed. But it is beautiful. I mean, the whole TV series has been spot on. Okay. The best part of it was episode 1 to 4. Those were, great episode. I love the literature. I mean, the literature was beautiful. It was really, really beautiful. Um, and what I'll definitely be watching it again. I have the DVDs. I will be watching it again, like, you know, binging on it again. But yeah, but the last episode was really, really beautifully shot. I mean, I love when, the dragon, Daenerys came or landed, and she was walking to take a speech, and the dragon's wings, like it was almost as if Daenerys had wings. It was so amazing. So yeah, Drogon's wings, uh, it was just so, subliminal. It was mesmerizing. It was so beautiful to see. So, significantly, it was like, um, Daenerys was like invincible now. She's got wings like of her own, and basically she's embodied Drogon as well. And you can see evidently when Daenerys died. Okay, Drogon wasn't around, but Drogon felt that Daenerys had been killed. Drogon felt it. So they have that bond, where they are, you know, essentially, you know, the same entity. Okay, basically the same entity. And as Daenerys always says, like, Drogon is Daenerys' child. So you can see the bond between the mother and the child to another level. Okay, only in Game of Thrones. All right, but yeah, that was really epic. Okay, that was so epic. Um, if I had written the story is perfect. Okay, the story is as perfect as the writer could write it. Okay, but since I'm not the writer, I'm not going to judge it and say, oh, this is a shitty story, but it's really perfect. I really loved it. But if I would write it on my own, okay, in my perfect world, okay, I wouldn't I wouldn't write that John kills Daenerys. Daenerys had good intentions. She committed atrocities. I mean, which real world leader on earth today hadn't or hasn't committed atrocities? Every one of them. Okay, Barack Obama, you know, sanctioned a whole lot of drone strikes, killing innocent children in Yemen. You know, it was under Barack Obama. Okay, Libya is still suffering today under Barack Obama. Okay, who is a champion for gay rights and all these good things you can say. Okay, freedom and liberty and whatnot. Okay, but Barack Obama is the same person. Okay, that led to the Libyan civil war, killing millions of people, enslaving Africans, and Africans trying to get out, dying in the Mediterranean Sea. Like, there's no one without sin. Okay, there's nobody without sin. But what I was expecting is that because Daenerys, you just forget about the incest bit, okay? Because Daenerys is like John's auntie, but that's not it, okay? In the world of the Targaryens, okay, they incest is very normal to them, very, very normal to them. And back in the day, like in history, you know, incest was everywhere. There wasn't even a word called incest. Okay, people even in Africa, okay, people marry like close cousins. You know, close cousins. So bloodlines. The British crown is what's the word? It's a family of incest, basically. because they marry each other just to maintain the bloodline. That's why even was this there's this story about Nicholas and Alexander. I forgot what it's based on, but it was the Russian monarchy. Okay, it was just incest was everywhere. Okay, that rich people marrying into their own family to maintain the bloodline and maintain the wealth. Okay, so this is nothing new. But what I was expecting was that Daenerys and Jon would work together since they are family, they are blood. I couldn't imagine Jon killing or Jon Snow killing his own blood. Okay, Daenerys is drunk with power, but it's something that you would expect an enemy to do, to murder the queen, not Jon. Okay, and the end. I mean, Jon was just a miserable person. He did the bidding of everybody, everybody in the show. Even when Ned wanted him to behead the deserter, I think in episode two. Oh, jeez, I can't remember now. Okay, a deserter was beheaded. Okay, for deserting the Night Watch, he was beheaded, and Ned wanted Jon to do it. Okay, and he hesitated. Okay, so Jon throughout the story, he's always been the person that will do the bidding for everybody else, and in the end, he is not happy. He doesn't get what he wanted. Okay, for the first time, he genuinely fell in love with his own auntie, but it was genuine love. But then he was manipulated to kill his own auntie. Until now, he doesn't even know. The story ended. He doesn't even know if he did the right thing by murdering his own auntie. But then you can see that the whole story was plotted by Bran. Bran plotted the whole story so he could sit on the Iron Throne. If it's not obvious to you, okay, Ocean Grown, if that should be so obvious to anybody who's followed it. Okay, he's because he was pushed off a building. He's a cripple. Okay, he has no contention for the throne, but then he has this cool ability to see into the future. Okay, so if he sees into the future, he can place himself in strategic positions. Okay, to be on the throne. But then again, you have Drogon melting their throne away and stuff like that. So you can see that Bran was positioned himself very well to be you know the king of Westeros, or the six, seven kingdoms. And technically, the story ended that what's her name now? Sansa said the North shall always be free, but what if Sansa dies? Okay, what if Sansa dies? Okay, it's still in the hands of the Starks, and Bran is a Stark, so it will be annexed. Okay, when you look at the history of Westeros, when Aegon conquered Westeros, Dawn was not conquered, but then later on, Dawn joined the Seven Kingdoms because they married into the royal family, so it became part of the Seven Kingdoms. So when you look at it into the future, definitely the you know the North is going to be part of the Seven Kingdoms if the story continues to or the writer continues to make the story. And like in the end, when Jon was going into the woods with the wildlands, okay, it looked like there was a bit of greenery coming through. So obviously, winter is over, okay, or nearly over, and there's going to be spring. So there might be a twist to the story saying spring is coming or spring is here or something like that. So yeah. But what I would have written if I were the story writer, I would have written that Jon goes on to marry Daenerys, which the Targaryens have always done. Okay, married in each other, brothers and sisters marrying, incest galore. Okay, it's nothing new for Targaryens, and yeah, and then with John and Daenerys, you know, counseling each other. I mean, you know, they're going to be really good rulers, because Daenerys had great intentions, okay, to create a better world. Okay, the world she sees, you know, basically, if you have the power, you know, if you have the power of a dragon, okay, you raise everything. Basically, she's risen to a god status. And again, I was pointing out with the wings, okay, coming down on Drogon, she felt like a god. The representation of it, okay, the subliminal message there is that she felt like a god, and she could do whatever she wanted. And so basically, she wants to destroy the old world by, meaning like break all the wheels, okay, and rebuild a new world, a world with you know, people know peace and whatnot. Okay, there'll be no slavery and stuff like that. So yeah, um, that concludes my take on the Game of Thrones. But I would want to you know, I would want to read one of my favorite quotes from the TV series. Okay, this is season 3. Okay, Littlefinger is a character in there, which was who is one of the advisors to the throne. Okay, and he said he was having a conversation with Varys, who is another advisor to the throne. Okay, to the realm. Okay, so they were having a conversation, and Varys was like, I whatever he does it for the good of the realm. And then Littlefinger replied saying, "The realm. Do you know what the realm is? It's 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies, a story we told each other over and over until we forget that it's a lie." So I went off on a tangent saying that the story is not a lie. Okay, the story actually happened. Okay, so when Aegon conquered Westeros, he took all the souls of his enemies and melted it and formed the throne, which I said that the throne was, you know, the replica was sent all over the world. Okay, and it was even here in Australia, Sydney, and people got a chance to sit on it. Okay, so the person asking this, okay, was saying that I understand the basics of Aegon and the dragons and the war and all of that, but what does it mean by until we forget that it's a lie? So someone gave a very clever answer here. Okay, this line was a response to Varys' assertion that everything he had done was for the realm. Okay, so he's gonna explain it further. Littlefinger is saying there is no realm. The realm is an illusion. Nothing ever benefits the realm. It simply benefits someone clever enough to use the illusion for his own ends. Okay, so this here is like epic on its own. Okay, this here is epic on its own. Like the person who wrote this is very 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 smart. Okay, it's very very smart. Okay, it's almost a twisted echo of Varys' second season line to Tyrant. The power resides where men believe it resides. Okay, so it's all, you know, subjective. Okay, it's all subjective. Okay, it's a trick, a shadow of the wall. Littlefinger is explaining why he's being a manipulative, duplicitous bastard isn't really a bad thing. It's either cynical rationalization or ruthless realism, depending on your POV, point of view. Okay, so if you watch the Game of Thrones, you know what happened to Littlefinger. He's very very manipulative to get what he wants. Okay, and basically he is in it, you know, to get whatever he wanted. Okay, so I think he got the veil or something. Okay, where he pushed Sansa's auntie. He pushed Sansa's auntie off the tower, something into some never-ending free fall. Yeah, so this here, you know, should tell you. I think everyone else has their own opinions, but this one here did it for me. Okay, this one here did it for me, and it was done 5 years ago. It was written 5 years ago. So yeah. So basically, again, power resides where men believe it resides. Okay, it's all circumstantial and subjective. Okay, and this is politics. Okay, this ties into politics. I said before, we had our elections on the 18th of May, which was on Saturday past. Okay, and we all were thinking that, liberal is done for. I mean, here in Australia have Victoria, New South Wales, South Australia, Western Australia, all these states voting to kick out the Liberals from power, and you have Queensland, Queensland being the decider, okay, voting to keep Labor in power. So I mean, this is, power resides where men believe it resides. Okay, so this really tells you what politics is about. Okay, what politics is about, and especially towards the end of this season's episode 6, um, uh, season 8, episode 6. They were talking about democracy now, so it just came at the right time during election times. Okay, they've been programming our mind for so long, for like 10 years. 10 years. It's mind control. This TV series is, mind control. TV in itself is mind control. Okay, it programs you. You come home, you're tired from work, you relax with TV, and it tells you how you should think. Okay, if you're not smart enough to know that this is only just a story, this is only just someone's imagination. Okay, you buy into it and you begin to act it subconsciously. Okay, like for some time I was even, memorizing some of these quotes. Okay, subconsciously I was living by some of these quotes. I believed in some of these quotes. Okay, it was shaping my mind. All these 10 years I've been watching Game of Thrones. It's really shaped my mind, the way I think. Okay, that's why the power of reading, it's bar none. Okay, reading is so powerful. Okay, when you read, okay, you get very, very creative, because you get into the minds of people. Okay, you get into the minds of people when you read. Okay, so nothing surpasses reading. Okay, and storytelling. Okay, storytelling. So again, this is very, very, political statement. Okay, power resides where men believe it resides. Okay, politics. This is basically politics. Okay, and the realm. Okay, so saying that the realm. So when we look at the realm, you can say that the government, okay, or a nation. Okay, so do you know what the nation is? It's like all these enemies, okay, the thousand blades of Aegon's enemies, a story we tell each other. So basically, you are telling yourself that I'm doing this for the good of a country. I'm doing this for the good of a nation. I'm doing this for the good of a people. But in actuality, when your human nature kicks in, okay, to err is human. Okay, when your human nature kicks in, okay, this becomes a fable. Okay, this becomes a fake story. You don't even believe in it anymore, even though it's real, but you don't believe in it. You begin to pursue your selfish desires. Okay, and this is what happens to politicians. Okay, they know what the nation needs, they know what this and that. Okay, but when they get into position of power, okay, they forget all these things. Okay, everything goes into the trash can, and they begin to do what they feel is right, but not necessarily in the interest of the country or the nation or the people. All right, so this is what it really means. Okay, the realm. Do you know what the realm is? The thousand blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agreed to tell each other over and over until we forget that it's a lie, right? It's a lie. Okay, so I'll read a little bit of the quotes and I am gonna probably close out. I don't intend to make this very long, but yeah, this is really epic. Okay. Uh, when it snows, when it snows, fall, and the wind blows, the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. Okay, so that's pretty good. What was this? Leave one wolf alive, and the sheep are never safe. Okay, so that's another quote there. What was this? The night, the night is dark and full of terrors. Okay. You are mine and I'm yours, and if we die, we die, but first we live. Okay. So that was like that was a love story between Jon Snow and Ygritte. Okay, the wildling. um so you have Sansa here. This is one of the covers. Okay, you have Sansa here sitting on the Iron Throne. Well, we all know that Sansa never got to sit on the Iron Throne anyway. What was the other quote? Don't be a Joffrey. That was pretty cool. Don't be a Joffrey. All right, so yeah, couldn't find much of quotes here. I spent my life in foreign land, so many men have tried to kill me. I don't remember all their names. I have been sold like a brood mare. I've been chained and betrayed, raped and defiled. Do you know what kept me standing through all these years in exile? Faith, not in any gods, not in myths and legends, in myself, in Daenerys Targaryen. Okay, so if you, Ocean Grown, if you watched the season 8, episode 6, towards the end, when before Daenerys died, she was saying that ever since I was a child, I have vision the throne, and basically she's saying that it's a reality. Okay, it's in her hands now. And then this this is what she was saying. Okay, she was saying that she had lived her whole life just to be in this position. Okay, just to be in this position. So everything else is what shaped Daenerys as a character to do what she did, and that her world, her current world as she saw it, okay, would always remind her of everything she suffered. So in order for her to have a, a good world, she needs to erase the current world to create a new world. Okay, and that would have been an epic, story to continue writing. But then again, they had to cut it short. They had to cut it short. If you want to build a better home, first you must demolish the old one. Okay, so straight from there, this caught my attention. So everyone else, you know, misunderstanding what Daenerys is all about as a character who desired for a better world. To build a new world, you must destroy the old. It's as if people don't understand this simple concept. Okay, it's just the concept of evolution. Basically, change always comes at a cost. Okay, if you're not prepared to sacrifice anything, forget about change. Forget it. Just forget it. Okay, so this is Littlefinger here. Okay, if you want to build a better home, first you must demolish the old one. Okay, Peter Dinklage. Okay. Peter Baelish. Sorry, Peter Baelish. Okay, that's the Littlefinger. B1 for life. Thanks for joining the stream. Blessings, Chief. Sorry, I can't stay up. It's 2:30 NYC. 2:23. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize for coming on this late, but you know it's 4:24 p.m. here in Australia, so I'm sorry I couldn't help it. But yeah, thanks for joining in. Yeah, you can catch up on the replay later. But yeah, B1 for life. Yeah. Shout out. Have a good sleep. Yeah, so you know, Game of Thrones is about power, okay, about how people use power, how people abuse power, okay, and they feel like they're gods once they get power and they can do whatever they want to do. Okay, so some people want power for their own selfish gains. Some people want power to help the world. Some people want power to destroy the world and recreate another one. Okay, so basically it's very like the Nazis. Okay, Hitler wanted to destroy the world and create a new world. All right, peace, family. Yeah, Hitler basically wanted to destroy the world and build a new world, and we know what that world was going to be. Okay, a world of the Aryan race only. Okay, where black people are going to be slaves, evidently, and the whole of Africa is going to be like a plantation for the Germans. So yeah, that wouldn't be nice at all. So yeah, but then again, in the real world, someone like Hitler didn't die at the hands of his wife or someone very close to him, next to kin or something. Okay, Hitler was attacked. Okay, there was a war. World War II was fought just to eliminate Hitler. Okay, and his ideology of destroying the world. So yeah, yeah. So I don't know why I'm getting this. I typed in Game of Thrones quotes, but yeah, I'm getting this. Winter is here. Yeah, here in Australia, it's almost winter. Couple more weeks, and it's winter here. So, yeah, but then yeah, I love the quotes. Maybe another day I'll do Game of Thrones quotes. But yeah, actually. Oh, I actually did open it. Okay, let me read this quickly. Let me go. These Game of Thrones quotes are a stark reminder how to play the game of business. So pay attention to the business lessons. So business lessons to be learned in this. So I'm sorry I didn't read this. I forgot that I opened it. Just I saw Game of Thrones as something more political, like politics, not in the side of business, but I mean basically business is politics. You have politics in all walks of life, every aspect of life. Like just about everyone else, I watch Game of Thrones and both can't wait for and dread the finale on Sunday. George R. R. Martin created a rich world with characters that are fierce and fascinating and complicated. Although it's set in a fantasy world, the show has examined a number of interesting themes around very real world issues, particularly on power. Okay, so as I said before, okay, I haven't read this. Yeah, so my first time reading this, but all I saw about Game of Thrones was just power. Okay, power, the control of power, how to harness power, and distribute power, and use it to your own benefit or to benefit other people. Basically, that's what Game of Thrones is about. So particularly on power and leadership, really Game of Thrones is an extreme competition between family businesses. Taken in the context of businesses, the residents of Westeros and Essos have a lot of powerful advice. So basically the two known worlds in Game of Thrones is Westeros and Essos. So one being the known world and one being like the neglected world. Okay. Where this Essos is where Daenerys' family came from, and they had the dragons. And yeah, very mythical, but yeah. Of course, not every character can be as not as honorable as Ned Stark, but even those less than yeah, honorable people don't exist in this world. They all get killed, right? Of course, not every character can be as honorable as Ned Stark, but even those less than upstanding offer important business lessons when pushed to their limits. While the real world business consequences may not be as immediately life or death as in the known world, the advice remains. Here are quotes from Game of Thrones to inspire you to get down to business. Okay, when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. Cersei Lannister. Okay, the Cersei is the queen. Okay, queen of the Seven Kingdom. Or was before Daenerys killed her. The man who passes the sentence should swing the sword. Ned Stark. Never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like an armor, and it can never be used to hurt you. Tyrion Lannister. Okay. So Tyrion is known as like the wisest character in Game of Thrones, and indeed, he seems to be the wisest character. I mean, he through ups and downs, okay, he's made his way to the throne. Okay, if the throne was there, he would be sitting on the throne because Bran is a cripple, and he would, and he's still very young. He wouldn't be, you know, looking for the throne. He's when you watch the end of it, he was going away. He was going away looking to look for dragon, and he might have some ulterior motive to you know to use the dragon to his own advantage as well. So who knows what's going through Bran's mind? And I stated how Bran had, you know, controlled everybody else. Controlled, like he's put himself in a position where he saw the future. He's placed everyone like a puppet master. Okay, he's placed everyone to play the role, so he could be, you know, the king. So yeah, but then there's a lot of absence. Okay, or absenteeism with Bran. Okay, that he wouldn't be there half the time, and Tyrion is gonna take his position. Okay, Tyrion is gonna take his position. But yeah, again, what was this? Never forget who you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like an armor, and it will not, and it can never be used to hurt you, Tyrion Lannister. A lion does not concern himself with the opinions of sheep. Tywin Lannister. The big fish eat the little fish, and I keep on paddling. Lord Varys. That's a pretty good one too. I need you to become the man you are always meant to be. Not next year, not tomorrow, now. Tyrion Lannister. Okay. So these are real, life meaningful stories or quotes, okay, that you can apply to yourself. The past is gone for good. You can sit here mourning its departure or prepare for the future. Okay. Peter Baelish. All right. Peter Baelish or Littlefinger. Okay. What have I done? All right. There we go. People die at their dinner tables, die in their beds. They die squatting over their chamber pots. Do they still use that word, chamber pots? Everybody dies sooner or later. Don't worry about your death. Worry about your life. Take charge of your future as long as it lasts. Peter Baelish. Okay. Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder. Many who try to climb it fail and never get to try again. The fall breaks them, and some are given a chance to climb, but they refuse. They cling to the realm or the gods or love. Illusions, only the ladder is real. The climb is all there is. Peter Baelish. Okay, cool. So we're talking about love here, right? In Game of Thrones, I think Aemon, Maester Aemon told Jon that love is the death of duty. Okay, I had to ponder on that for a while. Okay, and Jon said, what was this? Was it Tyrion said it to Jon? love. John was like, I love Daenerys. Okay, I love her. And John was like, Tyrion was like, love is the death of duty. Okay, so there was a repetition of line there, and it was epic. Okay, and what I always beg to differ. Okay, I critically I want to say it in reverse. Okay, love is not the death of duty. Okay, love is the birth of duty. Right? Okay, people are driven by what they love. Okay, love is what motivates people to do what they do. Love is what gives people aspirations and faith in what they're doing, right? So you can say love is the death of duty, but to me, I think love is the birth of duty. That's what I think. All right, that's what I think. Anyway, I'll move on. Um, it was nothing at all, and when you are nothing at all, there is no reason to be afraid. Some more tally. It's a big and beautiful world. Most of us live and die in the same corner where we were born and never get to see any of it. I don't want to be the best of us. I don't want to be the most of us. Or Bryn Martell. Okay, he got killed anyway. No one can survive in this world without help. No one. Jorah Moment. Okay, so Jorah Moment had a very sad ending. Okay, one of the reasons why Daenerys became crazy as she did. Okay, she lost everyone that really loved her. Okay, Daenerys lost everyone that really loved her. She trusted nobody else. I think only Grey Worm at that moment, at the time that before she was murdered, I think it was only Grey Worm and the Dothrakis and the Unsullys that were by her side, but everyone else began, doubting Daenerys, and wanted to do away with her. But Tyrion being, master manipulator, okay, manipulated his way to stay alive, okay, manipulated Jon Snow to kill the love of his life, who is his own blood, Targaryen, okay, and yeah, but then you can see that Jorah Moment died protecting Daenerys. He is someone that said or vowed or pledged that everything he does for Daenerys is through love. And again, this is like antithesis to that. Okay, saying that love is the death of duty. Okay, love is the birth of duty. Okay, the love for Daenerys by Jorah Moment, okay, is what drove Moment to do whatever he wanted to do, okay, in protecting the queen. So again, yeah. So yeah, no one can survive in this world without help. No one, Jorah Moment. The occasional kindness will spare you all sorts of trouble down the road, Cersei Lannister. I don't know about that. She was never kind anyway. Cersei was never kind unless there's something in it for her. No matter who you are, no matter how strong you are, sooner or later you will face circumstances beyond your control. Cersei Lannister, of course. So yeah, as she watched in horror Daenerys burning down King's Landing and then flying towards her. So many men, so many men, they risk so little. They spend their lives avoiding danger, and they die. Peter Baelish. So this is kind of like a biblical verse here. Those that seek to preserve their life. I think Matthew 35 or something. Those that seek to preserve their life end up losing it or something like that. Remember who you are. Remember what you are and what you are not. Ramsay Snow. Ramsay Snow. Ramsay Bolton. I will not become a page in someone else's history book. Stannis Baratheon. Angry snakes lash out. It makes chopping off their heads that much easier. Daenerys Targaryen. So yeah. That's probably why. So probably why Daenerys was very successful in destroying her enemies, because they were always angry, and they showed the anger towards Daenerys. Okay, but then if Daenerys had seen Daenerys had seen that Jon was going to murder her, she would have murdered Jon ages ago. She would have murdered Jon. She wouldn't have given Jon a chance to come close to her. But yeah, but Jon is a character that who did not get angry. Okay, he was always within reason. Okay, fear cuts deeper than swords. Arya Stark. I failed. Good. Now go fail again. That was Seaworth. It's a beautiful. It's beautiful beneath the sea, but if you stay too long, you will drown. Three-Eyed Raven. The freedom to make my own mistakes was all I ever wanted. Men's radar. It doesn't matter what we want. Once we get it, then we want something else. Peter Baelish. A mind needs books like a sword needs whetstone. That's why I read so much. Tyrion Lannister. So yeah, basically, this is what it is. Okay. Okay. If you want to sharpen your mind, okay, read anything you can get your hands on. Read. Shamak Hassan here. Thanks for joining the stream. Okay. You basically catching the tail end of my stream. But yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to sharpen your mind, okay, always read something, anything, read something, because when you read, okay, you get into the minds of people. Okay, you get into the minds of people, what people are thinking, and then you can shape your world with that. Okay, and mind you, what people write are their own stories, and you can create your own story as well. Every writer, okay, every writer or writer has been inspired by another writer. So it is what it is. Monkey see, monkey do. So yeah, a mind needs books like a sword needs a whetstone. That's why I read so much Tyrion Lannister. And basically, Tyrion is like the wisest character in Game of Thrones. So yeah, hi. Any man who must say I am king is no true king. Okay, so basically, this is referring to JC, Jesus Christ. Okay, I think Jesus Christ was quoted saying that as well. Any man who must say I am king is no true king. Tywin Lannister. Okay. A ruler who kills those devoted to her is not a ruler who inspires devotion. Tyrion Lannister. But yeah, if you committed treason, okay, if you committed treason, you're punishable, okay, by death, okay, by fire, okay, according to Daenerys, okay. You can't betray your queen and expect to live. Okay, you a few weeks ago we had this British what was this, Secretary of Defense. Okay, he had plans. There were so many things. Also in the controversy of Huawei. Okay, taking over the telecommunication network of England or Britain, and it was shrouded in that controversy. But the main agenda was Britain was preparing an invasion of Africa. Okay, they running out of ideas because of Brexit. When they exit Europe, okay, they are on their own. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of sanctions on them if they want to, or tariffs placed on them if they want to trade with mainland Europe. So then they're turning their eyes back to Africa, where they want to go and rape Africa the more. So I mean, that information that it was classified, okay, classified information got leaked. Okay, it got leaked, and yeah, that cost him his job. Okay, he got fired. The Secretary of Defense, he got fired, and what we learned from that was, these people don't want to leave Africa alone. Okay, they want to neo-colonialism. Okay, they want to control Africa again and recolonize Africa. Okay, so yeah, where was I going with that before I went on a tangent? But yeah, I think I was saying that back in the day when you commit an act like that, okay, when you commit treason or betrayal, okay, when you betray your king or your kingdom, okay, your head will be rolling, okay, your your head will be rolling, okay, there will be a public execution and your head will be rolling down the hill, okay, they'll chop your head off, okay, but in today's world, okay, you know, he just get a slap on the wrist, okay, and it will cost him his job. Okay, he got fired from that position. Okay, that British um, Secretary of Defense. Okay, but in the old days, okay, he would have been killed. Right. So yeah, a ruler who kills those devoted to her is not a ruler who inspires devotion. But if you are devoted to your ruler, you don't betray your ruler in the first place. First place. So yeah, there you have it, Tyrion. It goes both way again. These quotes can go into different, paths. Or yeah. So when the snow falls, the white winds blow, and the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. Ned Stark. So basically, Ned Stark's statement, remained true. Okay, because all the Starks, okay, lived apart from what was his name? Uh, oh, Alfie Allen. What was his character name? I forgot his character name. Alfie Allen. Tyrion. No, not Tyrion. Oh. I remember Greyjoy. Something I forgot his first name. I can't remember. No, I can't remember it now. I mean, Tyrion's name is just too resounding. But anyway, Greyjoy. Okay, Theon Greyjoy. That's his character name. Okay, Theon Greyjoy. Okay, became a lone wolf. Okay, okay. So when the winter came, he died. Right, he died. But then it was too late. Okay, it was just symbolic. He died, although he died protecting. He died protecting. He died protecting Bran, but then he he was out of luck this time. Okay. Uh, so yeah, the writer knew what he was doing. Okay, the writer knew what he was doing. George R. Martin, very very clever. Okay, the lords of Westeros are sheep. Are you a sheep? No, you are a dragon. Be a dragon. Olenna Tyrell. Okay. There is one thing we say to death, not today. Serial 4L. Okay. That's a good one. Not today. All right. So yeah, in the end, he ends up sitting on the throne himself. Okay. George R. Martin. Okay. Sits on the throne. Let me see if I can remember some of these characters. That is Arya, definitely Arya. I love it. Golden black dress, very nice. Definitely Jon Snow. Sansa. This is yeah, Tyrion. Uh, that's Cersei. That looks like Cersei there. This is Jamie Lannister. Oh geez, who would this be? Maybe I don't know my characters too well after all. But yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna make this stream too long. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to myself. I am done presenting. I'm gonna stop presenting. All right, stop presenting. So yeah, I'm done presenting. All right. Uh, So all I wanted to say was, I really enjoy Game of Thrones. Okay, it's very, very symbolic. It's very, very epic. Okay, the most epic TV series. It surpasses Lord of the Rings. When Lord of the Rings came out, I was a bit young, so I have the book. I've read a bit of it. I have the book on the Hobbits. I've read it. But then my thinking has changed since moving away into adulthood. A whole lot of things that didn't make sense to me when I was younger do make sense to me now. Okay, and a whole lot of things that don't make sense to me right now would probably make sense to me when I'm 60 or something. Yeah, so it's all subjective to the times that we live in our reality. So our reality allows us to perceive the world in our own way. Okay. But yeah, best is not to be deceived. Okay, not to be deceived. But yeah, Game of Thrones, okay, has shaped the way a lot of people think. Okay, millions and millions of people have been devout, viewers of Game of Thrones, and it shaped their perception of life and whatever whatnot. And what I take away from Game of Thrones is power. Okay, power, the zest and thirst of power will cause people to do atrocious things. Okay, very, very terrible things. Okay, but then the question is, what is good for you may be bad for me. So there's no real good and evil in this world. Okay, it's just circumstantial. Okay, one means poisonous, another means meat. Okay, but humans, as we evolve, okay, we begin to set laws and norms, okay, that we follow for the good of everybody else. All right, so that's where we get what's good and what's evil from. But then in the past, okay, people feel that it's okay to murder someone and for stepping on your foot or stuff like that, and if it's justified, why not? But even the most hardened criminals get to live these days. So yeah. Now there's a story about Australia's worst serial killer, and his name was Ivan Mallet or whatever. What's his name? Molat, Ivan Molat. Can't pronounce his name, but yeah. What would you do if you get your hands on the worst serial killer in your country? Are you gonna jail him or are you gonna kill him? So they jailed him, and now he's been in prison. But he's recently he was in the news, and he's developed cancer. So nature always knows best, but nature will deal with everybody. Okay, nature will deal with everybody. So yeah, power is what corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So what I took away from this is the abuse of power again, the zest for power, the quest for power, um, you know, and how people can be manipulative to get some power. So yeah. Any question in the chat before I go? Actually, I wanted to talk about the election as well, the Australian election. I was saying that the Game of Thrones season finale just came at the right time when Australia, Game of Thrones is all about politics, okay, all about politics, and the season finale was aired just in this political climate of Australia. So Australia, we don't have a new prime minister. We've maintained our prime minister. Okay, we've maintained our prime minister, and I hope the Liberal government have very good policies, but their policies are not great when it comes to immigration and foreign policies. Okay, Labour was more concerned about Australia and its relations with other people, but Liberal is mainly like Australia and very, very traditional. Uh, you know, some would say racist undertone, but considering when you have a state like Queensland majority voting for the Liberals, to stay in, so yeah. under the Liberals, okay, immigration is very, very tight to Australia. Yeah. So, but then, I see it in a positive light to benefit people in Australia first before, considering other people everywhere else. So basically, if you can't swim, you can't try to save someone who is drowning. So basically, that's what it is. So yeah. Is there any other question in the chat before I close out? Yeah. So our inauguration would be of Scott Morrison. Okay, I did a little video on him when he became prime minister. I think in in June or July last year when he became prime minister of Australia. You know, when Malcolm Turnbull was ousted from the party's leadership, and yeah, he's now maintained popular, his prime ministership through the elections, and yeah, inauguration will be this weekend. So yeah, there. But yeah, this is democracy. Okay, as a voice of the majority of the people. So yeah, life went on. Basically, everyone went to work and did whatever they wanted to do. So it was a peaceful election. I mean, there wasn't any chaos here. As you have in Africa, there's always chaos, especially in Kenya. Whenever there's an election, a lot of people die. Okay, it shouldn't be the case. Okay, be civil. Okay, go vote. People that you want in power, okay, vote them in, okay, and then it goes back into the quote before, saying that power resides where people want it to, okay, power resides where people want it to reside. So yeah, basically, so yeah, this is democracy, right? So yeah, most people preferred Liberals in power with Scott Morrison as the Prime Minister of Australia. So be it, right? So if you do not like it, okay, go vote next time, else you get a fine. Okay, so you can choose to pay the fine or you let people decide your fate. So yeah, so this is what I've learned. Voting for the first time in Australia, this is what I've learned. Okay, either go, like I said, I went to vote. I even voted for you know a party with the leader Clive Palmer, who's even resigning from politics. Okay, even though they did have very good agenda, but the majority of people always go for the bigger parties anyway. So yeah, my vote, to say my vote didn't really count. My vote didn't count. Okay, as I've always suspected. Okay, my vote doesn't count, but then again, I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to avoid the $81 fine, so I'm not going to pay that. But yeah, I want to vote. Okay, I want to exercise my right as an Australian. Okay, to vote. So yeah, and I have the opportunity to do that again in the next election in 4 years' time. So yeah, as we have elections, a lot of elections throughout the world. I think Malawi also had the elections. Double I, thanks for joining the stream. You're a bit late though. You're a bit late. Yeah, I'm very sad that Liberals won. Yeah, that's what you said. I didn't say that. Yeah, 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 I didn't tip Liberals to win at all. I thought Scott Morrison wasn't competent enough to be Prime Minister of Australia. And he's done a good job so far, but yeah, good job as in being very, very controversial. But evidently, he's the best that the Liberals could offer. Okay, but then I prefer Malcolm Turnbull, to be honest. I prefer Malcolm Turnbull, but yeah, the Liberals did what they wanted to do. But then the Liberal being very, very staunch and unapologetic about Aboriginal people and stuff like that, just makes me feel disgusted about the Liberals, really. But yeah. Yeah, Tembo was moderate and tolerant. Yes, he was. But then Tembo was against the liberal norms. That's why they removed him. Okay, that's why they removed him, because the liberal party do not like immigration like that. But Turnbull was, yeah, his agenda was completely different to the liberal agenda. You know, so yeah, the Liberal Party agenda is very, very, has a very racist undertone, and very, white Australian, was this the Liberal Party have become too extreme right wing. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah. So you have like the Labour is sort of like the left wing, but the Liberals are like very, very right wing. Yeah. Yeah. And Liberals use a lot of racist undertones. That's right. Yeah. You're right, double I. Yeah, you're right. But that's why people in Victoria who are more like, not as, Victoria, New South Wales, South Australia, Western Australia, all voted, um for like majority voted for Labour. But when you have Queensland being the deciding, states, okay, that's where all the racists and the rednecks, reside in Queensland. You know, my junior brother went to Brisbane for the first time. It was Brisbane or Gold Coast for the first time, and he as soon as he stepped out of the airport, he was stopped or pulled over by the police, or he was stopped at the police station, not the police station, the airport. Okay, he was pulled over by the police, asking him if he's seen um any lost mobile phone. So basically, they were profiling him when he arrived in Queensland. They profiled him. Yeah, they profiled my junior brother just because he was black and there was a missing mobile phone. So yeah, but yeah. Anyway, those are stories for another day. But yeah, I'm so happy to live in Melbourne. Yeah, bro, Melbourne is the best city in the world. Yeah, 7 times in a row. We only lost to Canada. Okay, we only not lost to Vancouver. Okay, but yeah, us at 2018. Okay, Australia was. I mean, Melbourne was the best city in the world. Okay, most tolerant city, most livable. You know. But yeah, I'm so happy. Yeah, I read that. Queensland want Australia to remain backward. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, yeah, yeah. But I must admit, I've been to Townsville, I've been to Cairns, I've been to Gold Coast, I've been to Brisbane. You know, people are right there. There are a lot of Africans in Queensland, though. Brisbane, especially Brisbane. There are more Africans in Brisbane than there are in Melbourne. It was just the Africans in Melbourne have just risen in the last 10 years, I would say. But in the past, it was mainly Perth. It was mainly Perth and Brisbane. A whole lot of Africans in Brisbane. Yeah. So, but then again, we do have the fear of Africans because it was just a sharp increase in the population of Africans in Melbourne. That's really caused a lot of people to become frightened. So yeah, people always fear what they do not know. All right. So yeah, did you catch any of the Game of Thrones family? Double I. Did you catch any of the Game of Thrones review that I did? Do you think black people are not politically sophisticated to vote on issues that affect them? I think sometimes black people are fooled to vote against their own interest. Um, you see, the double I. The thing is that black people don't like to read. Okay, it's sad, but we black people don't like to read. They like to be led. Okay, and yeah, sheep a sheep will follow its leader or herd leader, or even the what is his name, shepherd. You know, if he fell off a cliff, the sheep will go off the cliff as well, because that's how. they've been programmed, okay, and it's not using the sheep as an analogy, okay, is it seems pretty bad, but you know, Africans have always been family oriented, okay, family oriented. Our sophistication is as sophisticated as an open book, basically. So anyone can just read Africans and know what our actions are gonna be. Like Europeans have been studying up. Like how many African scientists do you know that have been studying Europeans? Okay, how many African historians or paleontologists or whoever goes into Europe and try to study these Europeans in their villages or their huts or mud huts or whatnot. Okay, but mind you, there are still mud huts in Europe. But do you see any African going there to do documentaries on European mud huts? No, there's none. But then you have a ton of Europeans doing that. Okay. AM83330. Thank you for joining the stream. Anti-romanticism by its very nature self-destructs. Okay, anti-hero writers borrow from and mock true writers. Lord of the Rings is art. GOT has no soul because it is mocking or mimicking Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I don't think it's mimicking Lord of the Rings. I said it like was this Sansa in the end of Game of Thrones season 8 episode 6. Okay, she looked like the elves. She looked like the elves from Lord of the Rings. But yeah, before Game of Thrones it was Lord of the Rings. But there's nothing new under the sun, family. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything is basically improvisation. Okay, we improvise and build on what we already have. Okay, so that in itself is creativity. Okay, using what you have to create something new. It's all that there is. Okay, it's evolution. It's a process in evolution. But yeah, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings was really good. Was really deep. There's a lot of parallels between Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. But you know, uh, Lord of the Rings, depending on how old you are, okay. My generation, it's Game of Thrones. I watched Lord of the Rings when I was younger, but it didn't do it for me like it's done it for me now. You know, because this is now. This is my reality now. This is my reality now. Okay, it's Game of Thrones. Or I wouldn't have the same effect if Lord of the Rings was done in this present time. Okay, I would probably gravitate to it, but because it was done at the time that I was younger, I did not have that sort of understanding as I do now. Okay, I gravitate more to Game of Thrones because I can relate. Okay, I can relate, especially when Lord of the Rings was came out. I wasn't even voting. I didn't even know anything about politics, right? But now I understand politics. I know politics a lot, so much that I hate the guts of politicians. And Game of Thrones just does it for me, you know. Game of Thrones just does it for me, like yeah. But yeah, it's romanticization of Game of Thrones, of Lord of the Rings, you might say, but um, I also perceive it as, building on Lord of the Rings. So yeah, yeah, GOT having no soul. I mean, uh, it started with a lot of soul. Game of Thrones started with a lot of soul, but towards the end, I don't know what happened. Okay, the writer just, for the sake of getting rid of the show because it's been running for like 10 years. They've just had enough, so it just it's transitioned from being an epic literature to being a storyline full of just plots. Plots. There was very little dialogue from like season 6 upwards. very little dialogue, and there was no character um, building. It was just more, plots. So yeah, Double I. That woman who was giving out the African gang flies lost, and she came forth. So at least this is good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Did you watch Avengers Endgame? I haven't watched Endgame yet. I haven't. I'm dying to watch it. I actually want to see it. You know, I haven't watched it. I haven't watched any spoilers. Okay, so I'm dying to watch it, but I will soon. Okay, I will soon. I will watch it soon. So yeah, don't spoil it for me, Double I, please. Don't spoil it for me. Okay, I might watch it on Friday or something. Avengers Endgame. Okay, I've seen the Civil War, Infinity War. Okay, I've seen the Infinity War, so yeah, I yet to see the end game. Um, yeah, yeah. Please don't spoil it for me. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, this concludes my stream. I think again, Game of Thrones is about power. Okay, the harnessing of power, the control of power, and what's it called? Basically the use of power. Okay, either you abuse it or you use it to benefit you, benefit other people. Okay, selfishly or selflessly. Okay, so AM8330 again. They all die except Carbon. Oh no! Don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that, man! Don't do that! Don't do that to me! Don't spoil it for me. Chaotic Storm, you're late, bro. You're late, family. But yeah, thanks for joining the stream. All right. All right. This is all right. Okay, you're kidding. Right, right. Thanks. Don't do that to me. Right, you almost broke my heart there. Right. You almost made me cry. But yeah, yeah, power is, again, I'll recap, okay. Story the power of storytelling, okay. As African people, this has always been our tradition. Okay, as African people, we've always told stories. You can find all the comic. Okay, speaking of Avengers and Marvel superheroes, the first ever superhero told ever in history was what was this? Seth and Horus. Is it Horus and Seth? Okay. Horus being right representative of day, and Seth being representative of night. So it's like good and evil, light versus darkness. Okay, that was the first ever superhero um, story ever. Okay, and it started with us. Okay, going back to not only ancient Egypt. This goes back to ancient Nubia before there was any Egypt. Okay, remind you, Egyptians said they came from the beginning of the Nile. Okay, where the god Happy dwells. Okay, the beginning of the Nile. Where is that? Beginning of the Nile is Ethiopia. It's Uganda. It's Rwanda. Okay, and evidently, when you look at the DNA of the ancient Egyptians, you know, it's right there. E1B1. Okay, right in the Great Lake regions, okay, of like Malawi, Tanzania, Kenya, um, Ethiopia, Uganda, Rwanda, okay, Sudan. That's where the Egyptians came from. So yeah, all these stories, okay. When you have what was this Wonder Woman, okay. The actual Wonder Woman is actually a black character. Okay, but Hollywood. They know if they make these characters, apart from Black Panther, okay, they make these characters into black, no one is gonna watch it. But then if it's white, okay, again I understand it's marketing, okay, white people have the money, and the only reason why Black Panther did so well was because white people wanted to see it, and it's a black African character. So yeah, Wonder Woman is black. Yeah, Wonder Woman is actually black. So the Wonder Woman is black, and she has Wonder Woman has a an adopted sister, so adopted sister. Sorry, and she basically faked to take the place of the Black Wonder Woman, and the Black Wonder Woman is actually stronger than the white Wonder Woman. So I read this a long time ago, but yeah, yeah. So yeah, basically the white Wonder Woman stole the fame of the Black Wonder Woman. But then again, when you have the story of the Wonder Woman storyline, okay, you have like the Amazonian warriors. Okay, the Amazonian warriors in Wonder Woman is actually it's an actual true story of the warrior female warriors of the kingdom called Kingdom of Dahomey. Okay, the very kingdom where a lot of African Americans were taken. I mean, descendants of African Americans were taken from as slaves or captured people and and sent to the Americas as slaves. That's where voodoo also came from. Okay, voodoo is synonymous. Okay, voodoo is sort of like a play on word, but the actual meaning of voodoo comes from like a well, okay, which is vundo. Okay, I know this language very well because I was born in Ghana, right? And my mom speaks this language. Okay, well, okay, vundo is means a deep well. Okay, and what do you find in a well? You find life. You find water, and water is life. Okay, so when you talk about voodoo, okay, it's a deep spirituality. Okay, that is essential for life. Okay, and this is what voodoo was before the corruption of it, the real true meaning of voodoo. And part of the reason why these people were enslaved, and that which people like the Hebrew Israelites say that, oh, they are the Hebrews and whatnot. Okay, Christianity or the Bible wasn't written until these people made it to that part of Africa. Okay, they stole the traditions and the customs. Okay, and you know, romanticized it, okay, in the view of the European, okay, and created the Bible. Okay, there you go. So yeah, the power of storytelling. Okay, this is why it's so important that we tell our own stories. Okay, we shouldn't let people write our stories for us. We need to write our own story. There was years ago I saw that Will Smith was going to make a story on Tahaka. Okay, but you know, he made Bright instead on Netflix. I'm like, what the hell is that? When you can be making Tahaka, you know? I like the story of Bright. Okay, don't get me wrong. Bright is more like, you know, basically trying to, you know, like, you know, the orc representing like, you know, black people and stuff like that. But yeah, but you know what I mean. Chaotic Storm, that's a shame. African customs have been recreated and spit back at us. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Every story, all these stories that you see, like even when you look at Transformers, okay, when you look at Transformers, where did Transformers come from? Okay, even the name itself, Transformers, they came from outer space, came down on Earth, came down to Earth, came came to take control and you know and basically teach humans how to live. And this is basically what white people do. This is they write themselves into stories, into history. And when you there was an epic line, it's like, I take your face and something like that. And he was standing on the pyramid. Okay, it's so epic. Someone broke it down. It's very clever. He where they bury the all stars or whatever, all sparks in the pyramid. I forgot the story now, but yeah, they bury some machine in the pyramid, and they basically try to destroy the pyramid to find this machine. But then Optimus Prime was saying that I'll take your face and replace it with mine or something like that, some BS like that. And I'm just like, whoa, I was blown away that this is what these people have done. They've come into Africa, okay? They've taken everything that belonged to us and replaced it with their face, okay? And I say this all the time, like, you know, our family values, our everything, our democracy, our government, our religions, everything. Okay, they took it away from us. Okay, and recreated it and spat it back to us, and then we buy it. We buy that version and reject ours. Okay, so much that I'll be dead honest, right? Okay, this is a change of topic, but I'll be dead honest that I can find more white girls that are more family oriented than I'll find black girls that are one, because majority of African people, black people, do not value family like they did in the past. Okay, there are a lot of fatherless homes. Okay, there are a lot of women without fathers around, a lot of men without their fathers around. Okay, but then everywhere I look around here in Australia, okay, I see always the father comes home, back home to the family. Nearly 80% of kids grow up with their dad at home. Okay, if I'm not exaggerating. Okay, a whole lot of people grew up with their dad, so it continues. A very successful family, and successful family builds successful relationship in a country. Okay, and there's less chaos. But these people have stolen all our values, okay, as a people, and then recreated it, and given us a version that we do not understand. Okay, so ultimately, not until we go back, okay, to embrace our Africanness, okay, we're going nowhere. All right, we're going nowhere. But then we need to as well contemporize everything anyway. So yeah, I think I spoke about everything I wanted to speak about. Yeah, the deeds of men. Okay, Game of Thrones. The deeds of men. Okay, so yeah, um, the deeds of men when they have power, basically, um, they get corrupt, and evidently that's what it does. Okay, power corrupts. Okay. I think more African kids look up to the wrong role models, especially with social media. Yeah, this can go both ways. Okay, social media is a liberator for African people in a way that they can see where how other countries exercise democracy. Uh, because they can watch YouTube and stuff like that. And some time ago, Museveni has placed taxes on social media as well, trying to deter people from watching social media and getting influenced by social media. A lot of dictatorship governments ban internet because of the influence on that, especially China. China banned Google. YouTube is banned in China, I think, and stuff like that. So all these things will free you from the bondage. Okay, but they don't want you to be free. Okay, they do not want you to be free. They want you to be controlled mentally, so that you don't have that liberation, okay, to do whatever you want. But yeah, again, social media, I mean, before the internet, it was the television anyway. The television itself is bad enough, okay, but a lot of people, television has now moved to the internet as well. And so yeah, but um social media, I think it's a good thing for liberation. Okay, so true freedom is when you can decide your own fate. Okay, whether you're doing wrong or not. Okay, it's your freedom to do whatever you want. But then when you have no control over yourself to do whatever you want to do, then you are in bondage. Okay, you are in bondage. All right, irrespective of what the situation. If you do not have the ability to do whatever you want whenever you want, okay, you are not a free person. So boys are growing up angry and looking for fame, and girls are living just to get Instagram likes. Yeah, basically that's what it is, right? Instagram likes, YouTube, YouTube views. Okay, when they do those girl fights. Okay, there's this guy on YouTube called Tommy Sotomayor. He always he does videos on the crazy things like black girls do, and he's always bashing them to a point where people just hate him because they think he's Uncle Tom and whatnot. But even though I don't really like Tommy Sotomayor because he's not very serious. Okay, he's basically written off the black, um, written out the black race. Okay, as very backward and unsuccessful and whatnot, or like all the negative, all the white supremacist talking points. Okay, you get Sotomayor repeating it, even though he vows to say that he's doing it in the best interest of black people, but then again, you don't air your dirty laundry in the open for everyone to see. Okay, if you're trying to help, okay, be be the change that you want to see. Okay, the change start with yourself, like Michael Jackson says. Okay, or said. Okay, look yourself in the mirror and make that change. Okay, it starts with yourself. Don't try and criticize other people for what they're doing. Instead of criticizing, spend that same energy changing yourself. All right, or being the change that you want to see. So they will find a way to manipulate the internet too. Yeah, yeah, very soon. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like basically, I mean, Game of Thrones. I was watching it on the internet anyway. So like, the internet is controls everything. Even the internet controls TV now. TV in itself now. The internet controls that. Basically everything on TV is on the internet. Chaotic Storm, thanks for that contribution. Double I, when someone is injured, instead of helping them, people take out their phones to get pictures for Twitter. It's so sad. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, yeah, it's very sad. They, instead of helping, they pull out their phones to record. Okay, and there was a story of a man drowning, and apparently he was drunk or something. He walked into the river or into the lake, and these boys, 13-year-old boys, pulled out their phones. Instead of calling 911, they pulled out their phones to record, and they were making fun of the man drowning. And straight away they put it onto YouTube to get views, and that's how they got caught. By the way, that's how they got caught. You have basically the recent mass shooting in New Zealand. This guy was streaming off was it YouTube? He was streaming off Facebook. Okay, I didn't get to see the video because I don't want to see. It's terrible. Okay, I hate gore like that, so I'm not gonna see it. But yeah, he was streaming off YouTube, Facebook, murdering people. You know? So AM says power creates opportunity to choose. Most people choose unwisely, but they were evil before power gave them opportunity to express it. Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right. What was this? There's this channel on YouTube called it's actually his name. Okay, his name is Michael Imhotep. Okay, I think I should actually change my name as well to have like some Egyptian names. Now that I've discovered that I have Egyptian, royal Egyptian ancestry. Okay, I need to change my name, adopt some Egyptian name like that. But anyway, Michael Imhotep. Okay, he has this channel. He ties in history with no, he ties everyday occurrences or everything happening in the world with historical events and why they happen in history. Okay, so that's his channel. He's a history teacher. He's very articulated or very intelligent, well spoken, and very well educated. And I think he has a PhD. But anyway, he says something that, or he framed, he coined the uh what was this? Coined racism. Is it racism? Racism. Okay. He said racism is a acquisition and the distribution of wealth to benefit um to the acquisition of wealth to benefit the acquisition and distribution of wealth to wealth and resources. Okay, the acquisition and distribution of wealth and resources to benefit a select group of people at the expense of other people. Okay, that's racism. Okay, and racism is economic based. Okay, so it's not about skin tone, it's not about skin color, it's not about eye color, hair color, whatnot. Okay, it's about power. Okay, the control of resources. Okay, that's what racism is all about. Okay, and he's another thing he said was um, thoughts. Okay, so he said your thoughts create feelings. Okay, feelings create um, your actions, and create your actions determines your future. Okay, so your basically your reality creates your thoughts create your feelings create actions, and your actions determine your future. Okay, so this is what Michael Imhotep said, and it really makes sense to me. All right, so double I, we live for likes and just to get followers. That is toxic culture. Yeah, yeah. And my channel is not about that. You know it, as you know it. Okay, if you've been following me for a while, okay, I'm not here for likes. Okay, a few times I've been on O'Shea's channel. Okay, I stand my ground. Okay, O'Shea has a big, really big platform for people. If you want to get yourself hated, okay, go on O'Shea's channel. Okay, um, but yeah, I'm not here for likes. Okay, I'm here for people to hear my point of view and my truth. Okay, uh, one thing that drives me to do what I do is because in the future, okay, they're going to be AIs, okay, artificial intelligence, okay. Uh, Robots are going to be. I saw this movie called Surrogates. Okay, basically, you're just going to be home. Okay, this is by Bruce Willis. Okay, you just be home and control your AI. Okay, control your AI. Basically, you just sit in a chair and control him like a game to do everything you wanted him to do for you through a process of telepathy or something like that. So your AI is gonna live your life, but then that is just fantasy. But the reality here is that okay, Google Google's main purpose, especially with YouTube, is they're gonna collect all the vlogs and blogs of all everybody on YouTube, even your comments are included. Okay, every interactions you've had. Okay, it's downloaded into a computer. Okay, into a computer, which can be planted into a robot. Okay, robot, and already robots exist in Japan in customer service and front desks and stuff like that. Robots that can actually function. And you have the AI cars, driving around town, your driverless taxis, Uber and stuff. Okay, very soon it's going to be people, AI policeman, iRobot. If you've seen iRobot, okay, these things are real. Okay, and how Google is doing it is very smart. Okay, they're going to collect all these intellectual interactions. Okay, and put it into the robot, and the robot is just going to learn, basically learn. Okay, in the future, it's already here. Probably in the next 10, 20 years, you're not going to see a doctor anymore, like a GP. When you're sick, you go to a GP. You're not going to see that anymore. Okay, it's just going to be a robot. Okay, you can pick up your phone and the phone will look into your iris or your eye and then tell you what's wrong with you and diagnose you. You don't need to go to the GP anymore. So these computers are getting very smart, and the internet is creating this for them. you know so yeah, they're just gonna learn and be autonomous. Okay, do you think let's see. Okay, chaotic storm, he won't even get the death penalty, and those New Zealand prisoners are like heaven compared to US prisons. Oh yeah, of course, you should see the prisons here in Australia. Amazing. Amazing. The only bad thing about going to prison is that you will have like certain jobs you cannot be part of, certain jobs you cannot do certain jobs, but then like the government has programs to integrate you into like um, a lot of job opportunities, and you still live a decent life, but you just have a record. Apart from that, you have a good life actually. The prisons are very comfortable, but yay. Certainly, you don't want to be in prison in Africa. You get bitten by mosquitoes and stuff like that. But yeah, yeah. So you think that that black police officer that was shooting the police for he just lost it because of the police brutality and stuff. They sent a robot to blow him up. I'm like, oh my goodness. If it's a black policeman or if it's a black shooter, they'll send a bomb to blow him up, right? But if it's a white shooter, okay, oh, they'll make sure they capture him alive. Look at Dylan Roof. He was captured alive. You know, they'll try their best to negotiate to capture him alive. Okay, I've seen videos where you know a white gunman is holding a gun. He's about to shoot people, and they have a sniper shoot the gun out of the hand of this person. I'm like, what? Do they have shooters like that? American sniper, okay, can shoot the gun out of the hand of a criminal. But then when it comes to the black man, they rain bullets on him, right? They rain bullets on him. So yeah, that is something else. Okay, that is something else. So yeah, we know that the guy that did a New Zealand shooting is not going to face death penalty. Okay, we do not have death penalty here in Australia. So yeah, it's just going to sit in jail. But then guess what? Double I, same way as Carl Williams was murdered in jail. Okay, there are people that are not going to, spare him in jail. Okay, there's someone that's obviously going to stab him or something. Yeah. So yeah. For instance, people feel racism. No, no, hang on, I missed one. Oh, chaotic storm. You said that. Yeah, he won't even get death penalty. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because Australia does not have death penalty. He's gonna be deported to Australia and then put in prison in Australia. Okay, solitary confinement probably, but not the death penalty because Australia doesn't have death penalty. Do you also think that ignorant people are getting false education from online personalities instead of fact based on actual education? Yeah, uh, I'll be honest. Okay, before you get any form of education or like, I didn't grow up with TV. Okay, my what I grew up with was the news, like reading newspapers. Like basically, I read a lot. Okay, my dad even hates it when I'm on the TV, so I wasn't allowed to watch TV at all. If anything, I'll only watch the news. Okay, I'll read. Okay, and the advent of the internet and stuff like that, I was having mobile phones. I didn't have a mobile phone until I was like 16 years old. So I mean, and then that was like the Nokia. It wasn't the Nokia 83 series. It was another one. But yeah, you couldn't do much on those. And then when I started affording my own, you know, I think I got my first smartphone in like 2008. 2008 was when I got my first smartphone. It was a Nokia flip phone, and then I got BlackBerry after that. So yeah, but then you know, I got all my education from reading books, like really old books and very educated books. Not the internet. But young people these days, I'm not saying that internet is full of rubbish. I mean, there are a whole lot of things you can read, especially Wikipedia. When I was in uni, we're not allowed to cite Wikipedia, but there's a whole lot of things you can read from Wikipedia, can teach you a lot. But then when you scroll down after reading what's in Wikipedia, you can see the references, and then what you do is you click on those references and read the actual source material from those references. So that's what you do. All right. Yeah, but yeah, young people these days don't especially if you don't make it forward to the university level. Okay, you do not know how to how to read source material. You just have an information, you run off with it, but you need to investigate, you need to decipher, you know. So double I again. For instance, people feel racism and bigotry is free speech when it's not. How do you educate such people who believe this way? Uh, so bigotry and free speech. Um, well, I say this is what I say. Okay, your freedom. I heard it somewhere. Your freedom ends at the tip of your nose. Okay. What you think is right might be bad for somebody else. What you think is bad might be right for somebody else. One man's poison is another man's meat. Okay, and so and so and so. So basically, you know, uh, you need to respect other people. Okay, that's what it is. Um, if you say something, I mean, retaliating, and if someone says something to you, that you don't like because they're being bigots and stuff like that, or intolerant, what I say is, just walk away. They make fool if they'll make a fool out of themselves. Okay, just walk away. Sometimes it's not the best to stand and fight. Okay, because it can escalate into something different. Okay, and especially if you're black and something like that happens, okay, they're gonna look at you as guilty first. Okay, they're gonna see you as guilty first before anything else. So my thing to you is, okay, when you come into contact with bigots and intolerant people, okay, just walk away. Okay, just walk away. Your freedom ends at the tip of your nose. You have the freedom to walk away, and brush it off. It wouldn't do anything to you. It wouldn't change the color of your skin. Okay, all it would do if you confront that person is, you know, it's either get hurt or you end up hurting that person, and then you become the attacker, and then everything goes wrong for you. All right, everything goes wrong for you. So you do have the power to remove yourself from that situation. Okay, when you come into such situation. So double I, there you have it. Yeah. How do you educate? So you can't educate these people. Okay, these people are set in their ways. The good thing is majority of Australians are not like that. Okay, Australians are very nice, friendly people. But you do, especially in Queensland, you will eventually come into contact with like very racist people, very intolerant, um, bigots. Okay, that would push a button. But the best thing is to just let them die in their own misery. Okay, they just bitter. Okay, just bitter, right? Chaotic storm. I have I have a lot of respect for your stream. It's natural discussion based on videos. Okay, based videos. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. So yeah, this is what I do. Okay. I try to be as real as possible. I am real. I'm not fake. I'm not an AI. Okay. I'm not an agent. I am just me. I go by the moniker Chiefdryno. Okay, and I'm just me. Okay. All right. Thank you, Salute. All right, thanks for the respect, family. Again, well, I can't even imagine that a world where you go to a hospital and your GP is a robot. Oh, yeah. I voted for Pauline Hanson. Did ya? If you voted for Pauline Hanson, you're kissing yourself goodbye, my friend. This is Africa. Thanks for joining the stream. You change your logo again. You change your logo. Yeah. Thanks for joining the stream. How's it going? Right. How's it going out there? Salute. My name now is CD, huh? Chiefdryno. Right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yeah. How it must be like early morning in Africa at the moment. So how's it going? Right. Are you waking up to the roar of the lion? Okay. Good, my friend. Yeah, that's it. Are you planning to visit Africa anytime soon? Yes, indeed. Next year, if I'm on top of my mortgage, next year, I should be able to put some funds together and travel. Okay, Simba. Yeah. I haven't traveled anywhere since 2016. My last trip outside Australia was 2016. I went to Mauritius, and that was the last time I went out. I traveled outside Australia. So I'm trying to put some funds together next year. I should be able to travel. I heard something, chaotic storm. I heard something about Aussie election. It made me some money on forex trades. Okay, you put some money. You're not clear. Okay, you're not clear. I didn't understand that. But did you buy some shares in Australia? Did you? You put some money on my forex trades. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't do that because Australia's dollar has been tipped to fall below 60 cents the US dollar. So we are in a little micro recession. Okay, we are in a micro recession. Okay, it's affecting the whole world, but Australia, because our economy is quite big and our population is very little. Okay, we sort of like floating a little bit. Okay, but our dollar, our Australian dollar, which is I think, what's the dollar now? Let me have a look. I'm not too sure. Okay, the last time I checked, it was like 73 US dollars, 73 or 83. That was at the start of the year. Australian dollar to US ratio. Okay. Oh shit! The Australian dollar is now 69 cents US dollar. So it's falling. Okay, it's falling. Like, what was this? Before May, 21st of April. Okay, so 21st of April, the Australian dollar was 72 cents US dollar. It's falling. Like, it's completely falling. So probably because of the election and stuff. But after the election, it might go up. The Australian dollar had fallen from the 21st of April to the lowest was on the 18th. So that was an election day, 69 cents, and it's still hovering. It's still on 69 cents US dollars. So, and it's tipped. It's been tipped. I read an article that it's been tipped to fall below 69 cents. So, well, might be like 50 cents US dollar. So it is actually great time for Americans to come to Australia. Okay, it's a great time for Americans to come to Australia because your money will go a long way in a country that resembles your country. Okay, but Australia can be quite expensive. Like, food is very expensive here, and clothing and stuff. Like, a lot of things are quite expensive here compared to the United States. But yeah, if you are American, your dollar will go a long way in here in Australia. So yeah. Chaotic storm again. Time to go to the mainland. You mean the motherland? Yeah, Africa, huh? So yeah, I mean, we all here making money. Okay, we all here making money, and I am proud to be Australian. The only thing that makes me so proud to be Australian is because of Aboriginal Australians who are Africans as well. Okay, so they're black. We all black. We all black. One black African family. So it makes me feel like Australia's home. Makes me feel Australia's home, not like, okay, Australia's home is home to Aboriginal people who are Africans, and I can claim my right to be Australian here because I'm black, basically. All right. Yeah. So, is there any more question or contribution in the chat before I close out? It's getting a bit dark now. It's 5:48 p.m. now. I need to go get me some dinner. So again, Game of Thrones. Yeah. Don't know you were married, Chief. Yeah, those are stories for another day. Yeah. Name up Beckner, no questions. Okay. Oh, you changed your picture. You look really beautiful there. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Like, I try not to be too personal, get into my personal issues and personal matters on social media. Okay, a lot of people are comfortable, like their whole life is on social media, but I use it mainly for intellectual purposes. Okay. um, Means by means of getting into your thoughts, for you to consider another way of thinking, or consider my way of thinking, and not necessarily um, get into my personal issues and that. All right, I'm not married. Okay, for the record, I'm not married. Okay, I'm not married, but I am in a relationship. Okay. Um, but yeah, I would not talk too much about it. I know you guys are probing, but yeah. Yeah, moving on. Okay, Game of Thrones. Yeah, like I said, okay, I'm African. Okay, I want to marry five wives. Okay, so yeah, there we have it. There we have it. I want five wives. Okay, so not until I have five wives, I'm not married. I heard a baby cry in the full moon video you uploaded. All right, that's my son. Yes, he's 2 years old. Yeah, that's my boy. He's 2 years old. Yeah, 12 kids. You want 12 kids? I want 24 kids. Sneaky. Stop lying, Chief. All right. Okay, I'll stop lying. Okay, I'll stop lying. Again, I'll go back to that realm. GOT. Okay, Game of Thrones. Okay, the realm. Okay, there's a story that we tell each other over and over again. Okay, until we stop what believing it's a lie. Okay. Again, that's Peter 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 Dinklage. Okay, Peter Dinklage. Peter Baelish, the character from Game of Thrones. What did he say? Okay. The realm. Do you know what the realm is? It's 1,000 souls of Aegon's enemies. A story we agreed to tell each other over and over until we forget that it's a lie. So yeah, basically, yeah, the story itself is true, but then people's motives around the story is what the lie is about. Okay, that's what the lie is about. Yes. So yeah, you're laughing at me, Neymar. But back now, I'm trying to change topic here. All right, I'm trying to change topic here. Why did they decide to end Game of Thrones if that was so successful? Okay, this is my only reason or perception. Okay, that why they ended Game of Thrones. It's gone on for too long. Okay, over 10 years, the characters are getting too old. Okay, the characters are getting too old. What also is that I heard that Cersei was paid $1 million in the last episode for standing there and sipping on wine. Just She was paid $1 million for just standing there and sipping on wine. That's just crazy. Okay, that's just crazy. And there's a whole lot of characters in Game of Thrones that they have to pay, all the casts, all the main characters, so I mean, amazing. They've done so well keeping it up for that long, and they can't keep on going on, like that. So yeah. So yeah. I have two already. You have two children? Oh, good on you. All right. When is the third one coming? When is the third baby coming? Right. I want 24 kids. I want 24 kids. And I have started very slowly, so I don't know when I'm going to achieve that. But yeah, if I meet my goal of having five wives, it would be a possibility. Okay, even if I'm 90 years old, I can still father a few kids, like Father Abraham, right? Father Abraham. Yeah. So again, thank you all for joining the stream. I have concluded. I have exhausted all my talking points. I have tied in successfully. Tied in. Yeah, whenever I'm ready. Thank you, Naima. Thank you very much. Whenever I'm ready, yes. At my own pace, right? Yeah. And don't underestimate Chief's ability to make babies. Okay, I can make babies, but you know what it is. Okay, I have the power to create a lot of babies here in Australia, but I am reserved. Okay. I control my power. Okay, so yeah, this is also ties in with Game of Thrones. Okay, so yeah, Game of Thrones. Okay, the whole theme about Game of Thrones is power. Okay, Bran being the king, the current king, or the king that ended Game of Thrones. Okay, you can see how Bran has put himself in a position to be king. Okay, basically Drogon melted away the Iron Throne. Okay, so the Iron Throne is irrelevant now. But then, if the Iron Throne was there, okay, it would be Bran that would be sitting on the Iron Throne, right? So, Bran being the person that sees into the future, okay, basically fabricated his way to the throne. Okay, fabricated his way to the throne because he made a statement in the end saying that if I didn't want to be king, I wouldn't be here. Okay, so basically he played everybody. Okay, the real winner of Game of Thrones is not Sansa, it's not Jon Snow, because Jon Snow killed the love of his life. He killed his own auntie. Okay, he killed his own Targaryen blood when they could marry each other and you know be each other's counsel, and create a better world. But he decided to buy into the fables of Tyrion, okay, and murder the love of his life. So Jon Snow has been banished to to not to beyond the wall, okay, Night's Watch, and he's gone to. We saw him in the last episode going to going away with the wildlings, okay. And I thought he was gonna smile, but he never did smile. Okay, he's gonna live his whole life being a miserable fool. Okay, he's gonna be a miserable fool. Okay, so again, another quote in the book, in the story where it was okay. The defining moment for Jon Snow, okay, killing Daenerys was love is the death of duty. Okay, but then I say, okay, love is the birth of duty. Okay, so everyone on this planet is driven to do something because of what they love. If you do not love what you're doing, you wouldn't be doing it. Okay, so love is actually the, the birth of duty, or the cause of duty, or the cause of action. So whatever you do it because you love it, you believe in it, you have faith in it. That's why you do it. So a murderer or a serial killer kills because he loves killing. That's what he does. So his love for killing drives him to murder a whole bunch of people. Okay, so it goes many ways. Okay, it goes both ways. So love is the death of duty because they just want to have a tragic story, a tragic ending to a story. So they say that, but in actuality, in reality, people do things because for love. People do things for love. The love of everything. Okay, the love of money is what? Money is the root of all evil. Okay, the love of money will lead you to the road of damnation or whatever. So, yeah, basically, love can go so many ways. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's subjective. All right. So again, power corrupts. Okay, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So it all depends on what people do with power. Okay, and that matters. Okay, what people do with power that matters. Okay. And then when you have a wild army like the Dothrakis and the Unsullied, okay, all just forgiving Jon Snow. I mean, come on, all these people were cheering Daenerys for coming this far, or that's far, okay. Or the Unsullied Grey Worm who murder who murder without caution or conscience at the command of a queen, just sparing someone that touches the queen. I mean, come on. So that bit there I didn't like, okay. But then again, it's the writer, okay. The writer just wanted us to have a conflicting mind, okay. But yeah, it's his story. He wants to write it that way. So yeah. Can I corrupt you, Chief? Well, the only way you can corrupt me is if you're really, really powerful. Okay. If you're really, really powerful, you can corrupt me. Yeah. Or if you give me power, okay, I might end up corrupting myself. But yeah, yeah, that's it. That's the only way you can corrupt me. Okay, that's the only way you can corrupt me because, I mean, again, as plain as I am, as I'm not too lenient, but as I think as free spirited as I am, okay, if I have power, I may be corrupt as well because I have my vision. I have visions. I have things that I want to achieve. Okay, I want to make Africa a superpower. Okay, so imagine me with a bunch of dragons. Can you imagine what I'll be doing? It's it's given, right? It's a given, right? You would know what I'll be doing if I have a bunch of dragons or if I have the nuke button, you know, at my fingertip. You know what I'll be doing with that nuke button. So yeah, I mean, everyone will be bowing down to Chief. That's all it is, you know. Yeah, power, power will always corrupt. Okay, power corrupts absolutely, and absolute power. I mean, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, and power even corrupts the most on incorruptible. So yeah, yeah. So, yeah, again, I am done. Thank you all for joining the stream. It's gone on for 2.5 hours. I didn't intend to do this, but yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very happy you guys showed up in the chat. Else I would have had a boring time and gone off. But yeah, I had a meaningful time right now. So yeah, time to go make dinner. That's right, 6 p.m. right now. So it's dinner time. And yeah, we shall catch you later in the next stream. All right. Thank you, Neymar. I love your photo. It's beautiful. You look very sexy, by the way. And Double I, you have no picture, but yeah, I know you. I know you. I respect you. Um, AM 8000 triple 30. Thanks for joining the stream. Hey, what did you congratulate me for before? Chaotic Storm, thanks for joining the stream. Okay, thank you for joining the stream. Must be very early for you guys on the East Coast in the United States. But yeah, um, this is Africa. Thanks for joining the stream. I have who else came in? Elm City. You must be snoozing by now. But thanks for joining the stream. Hey Neymar, you've been here since the start. I just missed that. Oh my God. Well, thanks for staying all the way through. I mean, I really appreciate this. Okay. Uh, I really appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, you're the reason why I keep coming here because I know that I am impacting. Okay. And I'm glad that I'm impacting your lives. Okay. One way or the other. All right. And you are impacting mine as well. So because I read out your comments and you interact with me. So basically, yeah. Double I, you're welcome. See you next time. I didn't know Neymar was a model. Yeah, there you have it. There you have it. Beautiful African model. Yeah, beautiful African queen. All right, okay, family. Yeah. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay beautiful, Neymar. And yeah, look after the babies. Yeah, teach them that there's no power greater than oneself. Okay, that's what I'll teach my son. Okay, there's no power greater than oneself. Basically, you are the decider of your fate, the decider of your future. Whatever happens to you, you are the decider of it. Okay, don't blame anybody for it. Okay, you are in control, total control of your life. You wake up every day, you carry yourself out of bed to do whatever you want to do. So, I mean, use your time on earth wisely. Have ambitions in life, have goals. Fight for your ambitions and make sure that they all come into fruition. And this is what it's all about. Okay, have a goal, set a goal, and make sure you achieve it. That's it. Own yourself and protect yourself. That's it. Double I. Thank you for the contribution. I appreciate that too. Yeah, love yourself. That's it. Okay. The Bible teaches you that loving yourself is bad, but no, no. Okay. There's no love greater than the love of self. I mean, some of these things, like, you need to really, really think about it. Okay. You need to really think about it. There's no love greater than the love of self. Okay. And, you got to love yourself before you love other people. That's it. That's basically it. And this is the problem we have in the Black community, because we do not love ourselves. Okay. We do not love ourselves. And we have to love ourselves first before we try to love other people. All right. So, yeah. The more I read the Bible, the more I think it was created to control the people. Yeah, of course, brother. You know what it is, yeah? It was all stolen from Africa, my friend. It was stolen from Africa, okay? Romanticized in Europe and brought back to us to enslave Africans, okay, mentally, all right, mentally. Even Jesus in the Bible itself told you they copied everything, but they didn't, you know, they couldn't even tell a lie properly. Okay, they left so many clues in there, so many clues. Okay, Jesus himself told us that we are gods. We are all gods, and then Jesus said that, what was it? Basically, Jesus was saying that the power is within us, within ourselves, and Jesus said heaven is on earth. But people are bent on heaven in the sky somewhere, and we send Pluto. We send probes and spaceships to Pluto. And in 2035, they're thinking of going to Mars. And people still believe that heaven is in the sky. And mind you, my mom is one of them. My mom, every time I call her, she wants to preach to me. People think that heaven is in the sky somewhere. No, heaven is how you make it. Heaven is here on earth. Hell is here on earth as well. So yeah, heaven is how you make it. Life is how you make it. That's it. All right. So yeah, the Bible is a tool of oppression, a tool of control. So yeah, and Africans bought into it. Okay, the whole world. Okay, the only people that the Bible was used to control was Africans, and basically South Americans as well. Yeah. Anyway, family, I'm out. Okay, this should be a new topic for another day. All right. Thank you so much for joining the stream again. I really appreciate it. I'm Chiefdryno signing out. Okay. Chiefdryno, salute. Peace. One love. Okay. One love, Africa. Okay. One love. All right. Peace out. Peace out, family. Peace out.